Each week, I get a lot of questions of people asking me where they should live in the greater Tucson area. Here we go. I'm Allie Garcet, or Allie the Agent, on all social media. Welcome to the Living in Tucson YouTube channel, where I put out regular videos on what it's like to live here, work here, and PCS to Davis Monthan or move to Tucson. Subscribe if you're interested in this. I am a licensed realtor, and I work with a team of amazing realtors, and we would love to be your realtor of choice when moving to or out of Tucson, Arizona. So if you have any real estate specific questions, shoot me a text. We don't bite. If you would like to go ahead and book a one-on-one consultation if you're interested in moving to Tucson, Arizona, the link is below, so schedule a time of what works best for you. Today I'm going to talk about the areas that come recommended the most in the greater Tucson area, and I'll explain why people like these areas of town. This video is not me telling you where to live, but instead what I have seen recommended a lot. Tucson is huge. Tucson, they say, is a small town of 1 million people. It takes a long time to get from one side to the other. So now, in no particular order, number 1 is the Vail area. It's southeast Tucson and can range between 20 to 35 minutes southeast of Davis Monthan Air Force Base and even further away from downtown. If you want more information on the schools, I did make a video called The Top Rated School Districts in Tucson, which I pull information directly from niche.com and greatschools.org. Many people say that they feel like they get their best bang for their buck when moving to Vail. However, if you're going to be going to downtown Tucson frequently, that's going to be about 35-40 minutes away. So keep that in mind. But if you're going to be working out of Huachuca City, like maybe going to Fort Huachuca, then at least you're closer to I-10. So it's going to be a faster drive for you to go down to Fort Huachuca, even though that's still a trek. Vail is slightly more expensive than the rest of the MLS when you're looking at the data. You can get a 4-bed, 3-bath house with a pool for about $425,000 to $475,000, and you can get a 3-bed, 2-bath house for about $400,000. This area is super sought after. Houses do go quick, and buyers are offering 99.5% of the list price. So if you're looking at placing offers in this area, be prepared to bring your best. The number 2 most recommended area is the area called Rita Ranch. As you can tell, this is closer to Davis Monthan Air Force Base and closer to the city of Tucson than Vail. And some of Rita Ranch do still have schools within the Vail School District. It's about 20 to 25 minutes from Davis Monthan, about 25 to 30 minutes to downtown. Basically, it's 5 minutes closer to Tucson than Vail is. There are slightly more restaurants and grocery stores in Rita Ranch compared to Vail. Rita Ranch will be a little bit less expensive than Vail overall because the houses are a bit closer together. You'll get that slightly more cookie cutter feel compared to Vail. In Vail, you'll tend to get a lot more land and acreage, bigger lots. Not always a lot, but compared to Rita Ranch. Again, this is a very neighborhood feel, just like Vail, so it doesn't feel like a city at all. Definitely feels like the suburbs. The number 3 most recommended area when people reach out to me is a small town called Sahuarita. Sahuarita is 35 minutes south of Davis Monthan Air Force Base, and yes, I keep referencing the base. That's because that's my main sphere. I served in the Air Force for a decade. I separated as a major, and my wife is still an active duty Air Force pilot. So that's a lot of what we know. The drive from Tucson proper to Sahuarita, I think, is pretty boring. Sahuarita is just north of Green Valley, if you've heard of that. That drive there, there's not much on either side. But once you get there, there are a lot of gated communities if that's what you're looking for, and some people really like that. There are between 10 and 15 restaurants there, so that's a pretty good size, and a couple of grocery stores too. And it's certainly quieter than the city of Tucson, yet far enough from it to where you still have everything you need, but you feel like you are taking a break from Tucson. For a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, you're looking more so between $410,000 and $430,000, and for the most part, if you want a pool, in this master plan community, it will most likely be part of an HOA. So the majority of the time you'll be purchasing in an HOA with a community pool as opposed to a pool in your backyard. But people rave about the Rancho Sahuarita pools out there in that HOA. And yes, pools like plural, they really do. And they have a large man-made lake that makes you feel like you're not even out in the desert. It's really cute. Days on the market are just as quick as Vail, and people are also offering 99.5% as of today in 2023. So again, lowballing, not an option. The Catalina foothills is the 4th most recommended area of town. Catalina is North Tucson, topographically, if that's the word, higher so you can kind of see and have nice views overlooking all of Tucson, similar to the next location I'll be pointing out right after this. With those views come higher prices. The foothills are just 20 minutes north of base, 20 minutes away from downtown, and a single family 4-bed, 3-bath home in this zip code of 85718 will run you just shy of $900,000. Although I have seen some fixer-uppers, I'm talking 2-bed, 1-bath, 2-bed, 2-bath, for $700,000. This area is where you will see large homes like 8-bathroom homes, 6-bedroom homes that usually sell for between $2 to $4.5 million. Surprisingly, as it stands right now, these houses sell even faster than the other areas I've spoken about in this video so far, with about 14 days max on the market. However, because these prices are higher than the rest of Tucson, they'll usually sell for about 97.5 of the list price for a 4-bed, 3-bath typical home. Okay, we're halfway through the video right now. Give this video a like if this is helping you, and comment the word food in all capital letters below, and I'll give you my favorite top restaurants and breweries in the area. The number 5 area is Tanque Verde, which I think is a slightly overlooked gem. It's located in a pocket northeast of Tucson and is mainly older, already established homes with some new construction, but not much. It does have its pros and cons. Pros, it's in one of the top 3 school districts in the Tucson area, and it's in an in-between amount financially between the Catalina foothills and the Vail area. But the drive is kind of far. So if you're looking to go to Phoenix often, it will take you over 45 minutes just to get from the Tanque Verde area all the way to the other side of Tucson to then finally get on the highway to go to Phoenix. If you didn't know this already, we do not have any east-west highways that are in the northern portion of Tucson. I've lived in this side of Tucson just like I've lived in a lot of other areas of Tucson so far, so I do have personal experience and I know how annoying it gets when you're trying to just get a day or a weekend break up to Phoenix. But it has one of my favorite restaurants pretty close to there called The Barnyard, where they serve some really good salmon. A con here is that because they don't have a lot of new construction, it will be harder to find garages. It's a lot of 1960s build where they had a lot of carports instead of garages. So if you want to convert a carport to garage, that's going to take like $20,000-$30,000. This area is the same distance to base and downtown as the Catalina foothills, and a 4-bed, 3-bath house will sell around $700,000, and a 3-bed, 2-bath home with a pool will sell for $500,000. And this is the 85749 zip code. Homes here in this area sell the second fastest out of all the areas I'm mentioning here today. They fly off the shelf. A lot of people want to live here. The number 6 neighborhood is a small town called Marana. And yes, it's pronounced Marana, not Marana. A lot of Marana is a huge master planned community, and it's currently being built right now as I record this, and that's actually where I currently live. I've lived in 8 different parts of Tucson, so I've kind of explored it all. There are a bunch of new builds all over Tucson, but especially in Marana, as Tucson tends to grow north versus south toward the border. As you drive around Gladden Farms, which is the big master plan community, you'll notice block by block or even street to street that some homes are being built by different builders. So there's a lot to choose from, and even within each builder, each home is actually unique. So it's pretty cool. My most recent purchase was a new build here in Marana because the lender was providing rates in the 4s. You couldn't beat that, and the price was right. We didn't have to pay anything above appraisal. But keep in mind, wherever you're looking for in Tucson, if you are specifically looking at a new build, your taxes will be higher than the rest of Tucson. It's almost 1% or around 1% of the purchase price, unlike the rest of Tucson of already established homes, which then you're looking at 0.5, 0.6%. So for example, a $500,000 new construction home will run you about $4,000 a year in taxes, or about $330 a month. Meanwhile, a non-new construction will run about half of that. But it's not just new construction in Marana, although that's like the new biggest thing. Marana is about 40 minutes from Davis Monthan, and you do have to pass through downtown, which is kind of annoying. So it'll take you about 25 minutes to get downtown. Marana is still close to pharmacies, grocery stores, although I use Instacart, so I don't go to grocery stores anymore. But I do wish there were more coffee shops, like cooler vibe coffee shops closer to this area. But whenever we want to head up to Phoenix, it's a much easier drive since we are a couple of minutes away. I'm talking 3 minutes away from I-10, and we're already in the northern part of Tucson. The last area is the Barrio District. This area is up and coming, and it's the closest to downtown out of the areas that I've mentioned so far. It's north of I-10 and south of Aviation Row. In that kind of southwestern pocket of Tucson, there are a ton of new restaurants and shops being built and constructed out there. It really has like a southwestern downtown vibe to it that you won't get anywhere else in Tucson. For a 3-bed, 2-bath house, you're looking at the $520-ish range. Homes in this area fly off the shelf with just 5 days on the market, and people are offering 97-ish% of the average list price. This area is 15 minutes away from Davis Monthan, and from downtown, you're pretty much there. You could walk if you wanted to. This area does have a higher walkability, although you do still need a car in overall anywhere you live in Tucson. But now it is an option where you could walk to brunch if you wanted to, or you could walk to the famous El Charro downtown restaurant. The Tucson Convention Center is right there for the Tucson Gem Show, and it's semi-close to my favorite brewery in town, which is called Crooked Tooth. And Moto Sonoria is pretty close too. Also, a good coffee shop is called XO, like EXO. If you're a foodie and you don't want to travel as far for really good food, half of the new restaurants that have opened up in Tucson over the last couple of years have opened up specifically in this area. If you enjoyed this video, or if you have any questions, shoot me a text. My number is on the screen. We look forward to working with you if you plan on purchasing here in Tucson. Again, my name is Ali Garced. Thanks for watching.